How's it? Today's Wednesday, July 26th. I am continuing the deload for real. Usually, when I say I'm gonna deload or whatever, quote unquote, that shit never happens. I end up doing something heavy towards the end of the week. I end up just backing off on one day and then keeping like squats heavy or whatever, but not this time. As you can probably tell, I didn't lift yesterday, which is atypical. Usually, I'm lifting on Tuesdays nowadays. But yesterday, when I woke up, I was hurting. It was like a good sore. It was from all of that core exercises that I've been doing, which is the Stuart McGill's big three: curl up, side plank, and then the bird dog. These are I videoed it last session. They had me feeling really, really, really stiff in my lower back, and then I felt DOMs on my sides, like on my obliques. Not just my obliques, but like literally like the whole side of my abdomen, kind of wrapping around to the lower back. I felt DOMs there, which I don't usually feel. I don't feel DOMs almost ever. So that's a good sign, I think, for me because it means that I am not practiced and I'm not strong in that position. So if I do end up gaining the core strength, core stability that is required of me to have healthy lower back, then this is potentially one of the steps in the correct direction. But yeah, I mean, I'm doing them when I wake up, and then when I go to sleep, right before I go to sleep, on days that I'm not training, and then on days that I do train, I do it at the beginning of the session, and then before I sleep. So I did do it before the um, the lifting today. I just didn't video it. For today, I mean the lifting itself, I kind of just picked whatever I wanted to do. I didn't even talk with my coach today because I'm more than experienced enough to make my own decisions, especially if it's a deload. I know when to kind of push and when not to push. But today I didn't want to move the blocks because it was just seemed like a big hassle, so I ended up just doing hang power cleans. And I think this is actually a good exercise because it shows me from the bottom where my lower back starts to feel the pain. You'll see on some of the warm up sets, that I end up getting sort of back, like my lower back extended before I pull. And then I do it before these as well, but the video was a little bit too long, so I ended up cutting them out. But if I end up getting that sort of extension in my lower back, then there's no pain at all. And if as long as I'm able to bend down to the ground to get to pick up the bar, there's no issues whatsoever. But once I introduce like a knee bend, then it becomes um, issues. Here's my last set at 90. These are like super light, and I'm super happy that they don't feel like I'm dying. Like my lower back feels like it's okay when I pick it up from the ground, and then of course the hang itself has no issues. But super easy, which is the whole goal of this. And then coming into today, I knew I wanted to do some sort of squat. I wasn't sure if it was gonna be a front squat, back squat, overhead squat, whatever. But I ended up doing a tempo squat on the back squat. You'll see here some of these reps. I'm just trying to feel out the range of motion. I'm looking at the side video. I don't really care about the 3/4 angle here. But if I get any amount of flexion in my lower back, that starts to hurt. So that first rep where I sat all the way at the bottom, not very good. So I set my hips back and then I just kind of just let it go. And then right when I feel like it's about to butt wink essentially, I stop the range of motion and I push up from there. You'll see here, yeah, right there. This is only 80, so going fast is my enemy here. So I end up deciding to do tempo squats, which is very hard. This is one of those things that like no matter what weight you select, it will always be hard, or it can always be hard. So yeah, I tried to do speed here on this 90, and it just didn't feel very great. So not good. You see it in my face on the 3/4. So I was like, all right, yeah. How am I gonna mitigate this? I'm just gonna make sure I can feel everything. So I do 303 tempo squats, which is like a 3 count down, no pause, 3 count up, and then I try to no pause at the top. But some of these I do have to regather myself, regroup. Yeah, and it looks like I'm pausing at the bottom. I really am not. Like if you look really closely, I'm just trying to feel that range of motion, that position where it's like starting to get a little bit questionable. And you know, if I wanted to make this ridiculously hard, I could do like a 606, and then that in itself is gonna be a crazy set. Look at how sweaty I am. But I was really hoping that this would feel good on my lower back, and honestly, it's while it is challenging for my legs, it feels like I am getting I'm being productive with my sort of rehab style of things. This is sort of teaching me, even so there, you see that on the first rep there? It's a little bit lower than the others were, but I feel like as I warm up, my hips and my adductors, my ankles get a little bit more mobile, and that allows me to squat deeper without having that sort of dip into flexion, which is the enemy right now. And I wasn't sure how many I should do today just because it is a deload, and I wasn't trying to push it to the point where I'm like dying. Like these are hard in themselves, but I don't imagine myself feeling sore tomorrow. I could be wrong. Who knows? I don't know. But yeah, I feel like this is a step in the right direction. I think that if I'm able to get the coordination, yeah, I don't know what happened to the video on this side, on this one. But if I'm able to get the coordination to allow my hips to work independently of my lower back, then I feel like I would be getting to the point where I don't need to be doing the Stuart McGill stuff all the time. Or I might be doing it too much right now. Who knows? We'll see in the coming weeks. But as it stands right now, I think I'm progressing and moving forward, which is really. It feels good to say that right now. Afterwards, I wanted to do some upper body stuff. I was actually going to do some presses, but I elected to do the dips and then dumbbell overhead walks at 70 pounds. This is the first time I've done this in quite some time, so I went back down to 70 pounds today. Yeah, it is what it is. I'm not super upset with it, but yeah, that's all for today. I think I'm moving in the right direction. I'm very optimistic. I'm trying to be as careful as I can. I still want to qualify for the American Open finals, but yeah, thank you for watching. Shoots.